You are sitting on the couch, your cat hops up next to you, lets out a gentle purr, and lowers its head, practically begging for a scratch. Naturally, you reach out to stroke that soft fur right between the ears. It feels like the most innocent, loving gesture in the world, right? But what if I told you that in that exact second, you might be accidentally triggering a deep-seated survival instinct, causing hidden physical discomfort, or even insulting your cat in their own complex social language? Most cat owners think they know exactly how to pet their feline friends, but there is a specific set of biological and psychological rules buried beneath the surface of that forehead that almost no one talks about. From the hidden scent glands that dictate who is the boss in your house, to the hypersensitive nerve endings that can turn a loving stroke into a painful overstimulation, stroking a cat's head is not as simple as it looks. Today we are breaking down everything you need to know before you touch your cat's head again. We are going to explore the surprising science of feline affection, the vital warnings your cat is sending with their eyes and ears that you are probably missing, and the one mistake that almost every owner makes that can actually damage the trust you've worked so hard to build. If you want to be the person your cat truly loves to be around, you need to hear this, because the truth about the feline head scratch is far more fascinating than you ever imagined. Let's jump straight into the first big secret, the chemical handshake. You might think you are just smoothing down fur, but your cat sees this as a high-level exchange of data. Cats have a concentration of sebaceous glands located around their forehead, chin, and the base of their ears. These glands produce pheromones, chemical markers that are unique to your cat. In the wild, cats rub their heads against trees or other cats to mark their territory and create a communal scent. When you stroke your cat's head, you are essentially participating in a scent-sharing ritual. However, the mistake many people make is coming at the head from above with a wide, open palm. To a cat, a hand descending from the sky looks remarkably like a bird of prey or a larger predator. This can trigger a flash of anxiety before the cat even realizes it's you. But pro tip here? Always lead with your knuckles or a single finger and let the cat initiate the bunt. That's the technical term for when they headbutt your hand. By letting them rub their glands against you first, you are showing respect for their territory and letting them claim you as part of their safe social group. The second thing you need to understand is the overstimulation threshold. Unlike dogs, who often have a the more the merrier attitude toward petting, cats have a very specific limit. The skin on a cat's head is relatively thin and sits directly over a dense network of nerves. While a few strokes feel like a relaxing massage, repetitive motion in the exact same spot can lead to something called hyperesthesia. This essentially means the nerves become overwhelmed, and the sensation shifts from pleasure to a prickly, irritating, or even painful feeling. Have you ever been petting your cat's head and they suddenly nip at you or pull away? That isn't aggression, it's a stop button. They are telling you that their sensory cup is full. To avoid this, never just mindlessly scrub at their head while you watch TV. Pay attention to the skin twitch at the base of their ears. If you see that skin jump, it means the nerves are getting overloaded, and it is time to move your hand to a different area or stop altogether. Now let's talk about the ear language that happens while you are stroking. The ears of a cat are controlled by over 32 individual muscles, allowing them to rotate almost 180 degrees. When you are stroking the head, these ears are your primary dashboard of information. If the ears are slightly forward or neutral, the cat is enjoying the interaction. But the second you see those ears go airplane mode, flat and out to the sides, you need to retract your hand immediately. Stroking a cat's head when their ears are pinned or tilted back is a massive violation of their personal space. It can actually cause them physical discomfort, because you are interfering with their ability to hear and orient themselves to their surroundings. A cat's sense of security is tied to their ability to detect sound, and by covering their ears or pushing them down, you are effectively blinding one of their primary senses. Always stroke around the ears, never directly over them in a way that flattens them against the skull. A major surprise for many owners is the whisker sensitivity factor. We all know about the long whiskers on the muzzle, but did you know cats also have superciliary whiskers located right above their eyes? These are incredibly delicate sensors that help the cat navigate in the dark and detect air currents. When you stroke a cat's head with a heavy hand, you are often mashing these eye whiskers down. This sends a jolt of confusing sensory information to the brain. It's the equivalent of someone constantly tapping on your eyelashes while trying to give you a hug. It's annoying. The best head strokes involve avoiding the area directly above the eyes, Instead, focus on the sweet spot at the very top of the head between the ears or the bony ridges right behind the ears. This allows the cat to enjoy the physical contact without getting a sensory headache from their whiskers being disturbed. The fourth major point is the third eye and eye contact during the head stroke. Have you ever noticed your cat squinting or slowly closing their eyes while you scratch their head? This is the ultimate sign of trust. In the animal kingdom, closing your eyes in the presence of another creature is a huge risk. By doing this, your cat is saying, "I trust you enough to let down my guard." However, the mistake many humans make is staring intensely at the cat while petting them. To a feline, a direct, unblinking stare is a challenge or a threat. If you want to deepen the bond during the head stroke, try the slow blink back at them. As you scratch, look at them with soft, sleepy eyes and blink slowly. This mirrors their own peaceful communication and lowers their heart rate. If you keep your eyes wide and focused while stroking, the cat might feel a low-level tension, making the interaction less restorative than it should be. Let's move on to the health monitor aspect of the head stroke. This is a very practical reason why you need to be mindful. The head and neck are where many health issues first become apparent in cats. As you stroke, you shouldn't just be looking for fluff. You should be feeling for irregularities. Cats are notoriously good at hiding pain and illness. By being a mindful head stroker, you can detect things like small lumps, crusty patches that might indicate allergies or parasites, or even localized heat which could suggest an infection from a small scratch you didn't see. Additionally, pay attention to their reaction when you touch near the jaw or the base of the ears. If the cat winces or tilts their head away sharply, it could be a sign of ear mites or dental issues that haven't become visible yet. The head stroke is your daily wellness check, and doing it correctly means you'll catch these things long before they become serious. The fifth secret is the scent identity conflict. Think about the products you use on your hands. Scented lotions, strong soaps, or even the smell of the orange you just peeled for lunch can be a nightmare for your cat's sensitive nose. A cat's sense of smell is roughly 14 times stronger than a human's. When you reach out to stroke their head, which is right next to their nose, you are hitting them with a chemical wall of scent. Many cats will pull away from a head stroke not because they don't want affection, but because they can't stand the smell of your hand cream. If you use citrus-based products, be especially careful, as most cats find the smell of lemon and orange to be physically repulsive. Always try to pet your cat with neutral hands. If you've just been cooking or cleaning, wash your hands and let the scent dissipate before trying to initiate a head-marking ritual. Now, let's talk about the psychological hierarchy of the head stroke. In a colony of cats, the allogrooming, when cats lick each other, usually follows a social order. Often, the more dominant cat will groom the head and neck of the more subordinate cat. When you stroke your cat's head, you are essentially grooming them. For most household cats, this is a comforting parental role you are playing. However, with some high-strung or very dominant cats, they might perceive an aggressive or top-down head stroke as an attempt to dominate them. This can lead to petting-induced arousal, where the cat gets worked up and might grab your hand with their paws. To keep the peace, keep your strokes light and rhythmic. Avoid heavy-handed pressure that feels like you are pinning the cat down. You want to be a partner in affection, not a drill sergeant. Mistake number 6 is the wrong direction error. Imagine if someone tried to pet you by pushing your hair up toward your forehead instead of down toward your neck. It's jarring, and it feels wrong. Cats are very particular about the direction of their fur. Always stroke from the forehead back toward the neck. Going against the grain of the fur is not only annoying, but it can also cause static electricity to build up in their coat. Have you ever felt a tiny zap when petting your cat? That's enough to make a cat wary of your hand for the rest of the day. To prevent static, especially in dry winter months, you can lightly dampen your hands or use a humidifier in the room. A quiet stroke, without static, and without pushing the fur the wrong way, makes for a much happier feline. The 7th thing you need to know is the crown of the head versus the neck. While we often group it all together as a head stroke, the back of the neck and the base of the skull are actually the most highly prized areas for a cat. Why? Because they can't reach those spots themselves. A cat can wash their face with their paws and scratch their ears with their back legs, but that spot right where the skull meets the spine is very difficult for them to groom effectively. When you focus your attention there, you are providing a service they truly value. This is why you'll often see a cat arch their back and lean into your hand when you hit that specific spot. If you want to be their favorite person, spend more time at the base of the skull and less time patting the top of the forehead. Let's talk about the bony ridge and the soft tissue. Many people forget that a cat's head is mostly a very hard skull with very little padding. When you stroke the head, you should vary your pressure. Be very gentle over the eyes and the soft tops of the ears, but you can be a bit firmer along the jawline and the neck muscles. If you are too firm on the crown of the head, you are basically just rubbing skin against bone, which isn't particularly relaxing. Instead, try using your fingertips to make small circular motions around the base of the ears. This mimics the feeling of another cat's tongue and is incredibly soothing for them. Number 8 is the timing of the head stroke. Never startle a sleeping cat with a head stroke. Yes, they look adorable when they are curled up in a sunbeam, but cats have a startle reflex that is incredibly fast. If you touch their head while they are in a deep sleep, they might wake up in a defensive fight mode before their brain even realizes it's you. Always announce your presence with a soft click of your tongue, or by saying their name quietly. Wait for them to stretch or look at you before you move in for the scratch. Affection is always better when it's a mutual agreement rather than a surprise attack. We also need to consider the temperament factor. Not all cats are head cats. While most felines love a good chin or head scratch, some individual cats are body cats or tail-base cats. Though be careful with the tail base, as that's another overstimulation zone. If your cat tends to duck their head when you reach for it, but leans their side into you, listen to them. Don't force the head stroke just because that's what you want to do. Every cat is an individual with their own map of where they like to be touched. Forcing a head stroke on a cat that doesn't like it is a fast way to make them avoid your lap altogether. Which brings us to mistake number 9. The hand as a toy confusion. If you have a habit of playing wrestle with your hands or letting your kitten bite your fingers, you are setting yourself up for failure when it comes to the head stroke. The cat will see your hand moving toward their head and think, "Oh, it's game time." They will switch from affection mode to predator mode. This is when you get those love nips that are a bit too hard or the bunny kicks to your wrist. If you want your cat to be calm during a head stroke, you must never use your hands as toys. Hands are for petting, grooming, and feeding. Toys are for hunting. Keeping those two things strictly separate in your cat's mind will make your head petting sessions much more peaceful. The 10th secret is the chin versus forehead priority. If you really want to win a cat over, start with the chin and work your way up to the head. The chin is a less threatening area because the cat can see your hand coming. It's also where they have more of those scent glands we talked about. By starting under the chin, you are introducing yourself to their scent markers. Once they are purring and leaning into the chin scratch, you can slowly migrate your fingers up to the cheeks and then finally the forehead. This bottom-up approach is much more polite in feline etiquette than a top-down approach. It allows the cat to feel in control of the interaction the entire time. Let's talk about the long hair versus short hair technique. If you have a long-haired beauty like a Maine Coon or a Persian, stroking the head requires a bit more care. Their fur can easily get tangled or matted behind the ears. When you stroke, you might accidentally pull on a small knot, causing a sharp pinch. This turns a happy moment into a negative one. For long-haired cats, you should use a combing motion with your fingers to ensure you aren't snagging on any tangles. On the flip side, short-haired cats or hairless breeds like the Sphinx feel the heat of your hand much more intensely. For them, a lighter, more superficial stroke is often preferred to avoid burning the skin with too much friction. Another thing to keep in mind is the kitten versus senior approach. Kittens are often too distracted and high energy to sit for a long head-petting session. They might prefer quick, playful scruffs. But for a senior cat, a head and neck massage can be genuinely therapeutic. Many older cats suffer from arthritis in their spine and neck. A gentle, warm hand stroking their neck muscles can help increase blood flow and relieve tension. Just be extra careful not to put pressure on the base of the neck where they might have more sensitivity or joint stiffness. Your head stroke can be a form of physical therapy for an aging friend. Now, let's look at the stranger factor. If you are visiting someone else's house, never, ever reach directly for a strange cat's head. Even the friendliest cat can be head-shy around people they don't know. The proper way to greet a new cat is to offer the back of your hand, low and steady, and let them sniff your knuckles. If they rub their cheek against you, they are giving you permission to pet their cheek. Don't take that as an open invitation to grab their forehead. Build the relationship from the cheeks and chin first. Jumping straight for the head of a cat you don't know is the most common way people get swiped at. It's a major breach of cat social protocol. We should also talk about the purr monitor. A purr doesn't always mean I'm happy. While it usually does, cats also purr to soothe themselves when they are stressed or in pain. If you are stroking a cat's head and they are purring, but their body feels stiff, their tail is flicking, or their eyes are wide and dilated. Stop. This is a nervous purr. They might be trying to tolerate the petting but are actually feeling quite anxious. A happy purr is accompanied by a relaxed, soft body, a slow-moving or still tail, and squinty eyes. Learning to distinguish between the contentment purr and the stress purr is the hallmark of a high-level cat owner. A hidden benefit of the correct head stroke is the bonding hormone release. When you pet your cat correctly, respecting their boundaries and hitting those sweet spots, both you and your cat release oxytocin. This is the same hormone that bonds mothers to their babies. It lowers blood pressure, reduces anxiety, and creates a feeling of deep safety. This is why we feel so much better after a session with our feline friends. But this only happens when the interaction is mutually pleasant. If the cat is stressed or overstimulated, you aren't getting that oxytocin hit. You're both just getting a bit more frustrated. Doing it right is literally good for your heart. As we look toward the science of touch, researchers have found that cats actually have preferred grooming partners in a group. These are the cats they allow to touch their heads. By being a mindful and respectful head stroker, you are cementing your status as a preferred partner. This means the cat is more likely to come to you when they are scared, more likely to sleep on your bed, and more likely to trust you when you have to do things they don't like, such as clipping their nails or giving them medicine. The head stroke is the currency of trust in your relationship. Think about the environment as well. A head stroke in a loud, chaotic room with kids running around will be received very differently than a head stroke in a quiet, darkened room. If the environment is stressful, the cat's overstimulation cup is already half full. They will have much less patience for petting. If you want a long, deep bonding session, wait for the quiet times. Wait for the evening when the house is calm. This is when the cat is most receptive to the sensory input of your hand and most likely to fall into that deep, purring trance that we all love. I also want to touch on the hand shape. Avoid the claw. Many people pet their cats by arching their hand like a claw and scratching with their nails. While some cats love a good scritch behind the ears, a claw shape coming toward the face is very threatening. It mimics the shape of a cat preparing to fight. Instead, keep your hand flat and soft, or use the flat of your fingers. If you want to use your nails, do it only when the cat is already leaning into your hand and has shown that they want that firmer stimulation. Always start soft and flat and work your way up to scritchy. The duration of the stroke is also key. We often make the mistake of going on for too long. In the cat world, social grooming sessions are often very short. A quick lick and they move on. Humans, however, want to pet for 20 minutes. Try the 3-stroke rule. Pet them 3 times, then stop and pull your hand back a few inches. If the cat moves toward your hand or bunts you, they are asking for more. If they stay still or look away, they've had enough. By giving them options and breaks, you prevent the overstimulation before it happens and you show the cat that you are listening to their silent signals. Think about the symmetry of the head stroke. Cats are very balanced creatures. If you spend 5 minutes scratching the left ear, they might eventually turn their head to offer you the right ear. Pay attention to their steering. A cat will tell you exactly where they want the pressure by moving their head. If they tilt their chin up, they want the jaw. If they push their forehead against you, they want the crown. Let them drive the interaction. You are just the machine providing the pleasure. They are the operator. There is also a seasonal change in how cats like to be touched. In the summer, when it's hot, your cat might find a long head stroke to be too warm. Your body heat combined with the friction of the stroke can make them feel overheated. You might notice they are less cuddly in July than they are in January. In the winter, the extra warmth of your hand is a bonus. Be aware of the ambient temperature and how it's affecting your cat's thermal comfort during your petting sessions. Most importantly, remember that stroking a cat's head is a conversation. It's not something you do to a cat. It's something you do with a cat. It's a language of chemicals, nerves, muscles, and trust. When you get it right, you aren't just petting an animal. You are communicating safety, love, and respect in a way that goes deeper than words. You are affirming that your home is a sanctuary and that you are their chosen protector. So, the next time your kitty hops up and offers you that soft, fuzzy forehead, take a deep breath, slow down, let your hand be soft. Watch the ears, watch the eyes, and mind the whiskers. Lead with your knuckles. Avoid the airplane mode and hit that magical spot at the base of the skull. You'll be surprised at how much more your cat enjoys the interaction when you follow the feline code. You'll see more slow blinks, hear louder purrs, and feel a deeper bond than ever before. Our cats spend their whole lives trying to understand our weird human ways. Why we talk so loud, why we move so fast, and why we have such strange smells. The least we can do is learn a little bit of their language. Mastering the art of the head stroke is one of the best ways to say I love you in a way they perfectly understand. It's a small detail that makes a world of difference in the secret, wonderful life of your furry companion. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive into the hidden world of cat affection. I hope these tips transform your relationship with your feline friend and turn every head scratch into a moment of pure, trust-filled magic. Your cat is a sensitive, complex masterpiece, and now you finally have the manual for their most favorite part of all. Until next time, keep listening to those purrs, keep watching those ears, and keep being the amazing cat parent your kitty deserves. Happy petting!